Right, let's get this show started then. Hello everybody and welcome to round 6 of the inaugural PSGL season 2 of the 2019 calendar, but season I believe 23, maybe more than that, I completely forgot, of of the season. It is round 6 here in Germany and I'm your host for this evening, the lovely, the one, the only Lordy Bob, or also known as Lordy-MK, or whatever you want to call me. To be honest, I couldn't give two, well, you know the rest of that sentence. But anyway, we're here for a very hard qualifying session around here, especially because of turn 1. You know, turn 1 catches a lot of people out. Young, old, experienced, not very experienced, very good, very poor, the upper echelons and the lower echelons. And here we have one of the upper echelon tiers of PSGL, which is F2. And as you can see, you've got a lovely driver selection list on that left hand side. Just view it, just admire who's on this grid. But anyway, it is 7 PM, which means the start of the F2 qualifying session. We've got a couple of people out on track at the moment. I will flick to them in a moment. Oh, pardon me. We'll just see who's out on track first. We've got Steven looking to prove himself after Russia. We've also got good old Sam's, who had a very, very good performance. Long time coming, I think, was the words he used in the podium interviews last time out. He's been putting in some decent performances, but not getting the rub of the green. And now he's back here for Germany, hoping for another good result like in Russia. We've also got TTG Thomas, number 5. Can't forget that number 5. And also in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see what he can do out here in Russia. And we've also got Cherry 2 Pie on the softs. Not the tyre of choice, but we'll roll with it because it might be strategic from this man. Anyway, TTG Tom. We've got Ollie Flavel starting a lap as well. We've also got Luke Green, who's also on a soft lap, but I think Ollie is the man furthest down the pack to start his lap, so we'll see what he can do here at Germany as he comes through the fast right hand kink. I want to stay in 6th, shift up to 7th, and then not too sharp, but down to 3rd normally for this sharp left hander, and it's a sweeping left kink into a right hander. Nice and fast there, but Ollie seems to have given up on his lap and to make way for this man here, Skeven, who will complete his lap. Downshifts very aggressively down to 5th gear, then up to 6th, but then keeps it in 6th gear and shifts to 2nd, then short shifts to 3rd for the final hairpin of the lap. And you've got this fast right and left hander. Don't be deceived, especially on the hard compounds. It's very easy to drift out wide and compromise your lap. But here he comes, Skeven, across the line. It's obviously going to be P1. Ollie Pavel, not a valid lap time because he backed off, but we'll see what others can set. We've also got this man here, Thomas, who's backed off the lap as well, probably going for another one on them set of hards. And to see what Samsa can do as well. Cuts the penultimate corner profusely and very nicely there as he comes to the line, and not a valid lap time unfortunately for that man, so a bit disappointing from him. We won't go on board with any of the soft, well actually we'll stay on board with Cherry. We'll see what he can do. I don't think he will set this lap time. Well, he is going to come across the line. I don't know, is he actually going to say it? Okay, so Cherry does set the lap, but it is invalid, so that does explain a lot. We've also got Luke Green, who's in the garage after a soft run, getting an eye in for the track as we see Maxi Luca coming back from a spell of absence from the F2 league in the Ferrari. I believe has been dropped to reserve for the time being, but he's out there racing and he's in the lovely Scuderia for this German Grand Prix. Let's see what he can do. Hasn't set a valid lap time yet, which is unfortunate, but we're going to keep shifting down the grid just to see where people are. We've got Wommer, who isn't on a lap at the moment, who hasn't set a valid lap time. We've also got Pip Matt in the McLaren, as we see yellow flags in sector 2. Also we've got Westy as well in the Renault, the glorious looking Renault team, partnering Leon in the Renault this evening, so it'll be very nice to see him perform as well. We haven't really seen Leon up there since Baku, I believe, which was the season opener. So Leon, I believe, started with the podium, which was very, very good for his standards, but ever since then has dropped off the pace and not really been on form. But there's always chance to get some results back. I'm just going to check around. Just gonna have a look around, see what people can do. Got Black Phoenix out there on the hards as well. A late qualifying session for him. I believe just getting a few sighters in before he really starts amping up the pressure. Also got Tom still out there on the hard tyres going round. I wonder if he's actually going to set a lap this time as he goes a tiny bit wide, going into that fast right hand kink and then slows right down to second gear onto this hairpin, really gets it turned in and really undulates through the final sector, really keeping the revs high. He's really aggressive on these gear shifts. He's showing no mercy to any of these curves, loses the back end, probably loses a bit of time as well, but a 12-0 from Tom on a set of hards. That is very impressive from that man. Obviously, if you don't know the strategy around here, the optimum strategy around here is medium hards or hard mediums. You want to be staying off them soft compounds at all costs. They burn out very easily and they will not be the best tyre compound for this race. But regardless, we've got some very good lap times coming in from some of these drivers, and it's very nice to see. One was on a slow down lap. We've also got Maxi Luca out there as well in the Scuderia going very wide, and Cherry, ooh, I don't know if that will put Maxi off a bit. He stayed in third gear and also touched the curb on the inside, loses the rear in the final sector in the Scuderia, but here he comes now around the final two corners, the number 65 Maxi Luca across the line to set a 1 minute nothing because he's invalidated, which is unlucky for Max. We've also got Luke Green on a lap. I believe CC Brain is coming to the end of his lap as well, but he's slowing down, so maybe getting ready to start a lap as we see Leon, who's actually spun around, either coming out of the pit lane or coming into turn one. Luckily he stayed out of the barrier and he's not on the racing line, so no compromise. Drivers aren't being compromised there, which is very good. We've got Gamer Paco, who I believe just started his hard run as well, so we may stay on board with him for an entire lap just to see what he can do on the hards. And oh, that man's all over the shop. He's going to get a lovely toe off Leon. So the rear end being a bit slippy for the Haas driver there as he approaches the very low speed hairpin, but he got some slipstream to compromise for that. He is going to continue with this lap, so he feels confident that he's got the pace to make up that time that he may have lost in the first sector. We're just going to stay on board with the Haas drivers. We see more yellow flag in sector 2. It's probably just people moving out of the way to make sure that they're not impeding others' laps, as you see the Force Indy there. And oof, this man, the Gamer Paco, it's a privilege to be on board with him because it's like he's wrestling the rich energy around this track. He's really going for it. Here he comes. Oh, another twitch of oversteer. It may have compromised him in the last sector, but he's very tight on the curves as he comes through the penultimate and the final corners. Takes a lot of curb on the exit, but here comes the Gamer Paco across the line, and it's P6 for the Gamer Paco. We've also got Black Phoenix on a lap as well. We've got Samster, and oh, Samster on a lap. I don't know who. Oh, it's a Haas. It's the other Haas, so it's of Jack Lacey, who's got no wing, and Samster is just clattered into the side. I'm surprised his wheels actually stayed on there. So Samster coming around the final two corners, and there's just a Haas in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not sure if Jack Lacey meant anything by it. I do believe he spun. It didn't look like he had an issue or didn't move out of the way, but that is horrendous for Samster. Poor old Samster. So we've got yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Just going to see if anybody else is on a lap. Pit Matt's about to start one. Maxi Luke is getting out of the way for further people. Obviously Leon is on a lap. Toxic Tomato I believe just set one as well. Gamer Paco's going for another one. We've got Ollie Flavel giving it all the juices in that racing point. Go on, Ollie. Haven't seen Ollie up there in a while, and I think he needs to prove himself in that racing point. It's not the most glamorous car, you know, you look like a Barbie doll, but it's not what you look like, it's how you perform. And Ollie Flavel takes a lot of curb on the exit, kicking up all sorts of dust and dirt, but sets a 1:12.4 as I drop my phone onto the carpet. Lovely. And as Cherry 2 Pie backs off his lap, who else? So we're going to go on board. I think Black Phoenix is the one really starting to push Now here he is in the final sector in the Toro Rosso, the Scuderia. In real life he got a podium. Will Black Phoenix be able to replicate that here in PSGL F2? Here he comes across the line, no ERS being deployed, but it's second position for Black Phoenix on the hards. Very, very impressive lap time from him. That's very, very good. He'll be happy with that, even if it's just a banker for him. That he'll be very, very impressed. I think the next person to stay on board is Westy. He's got it in overtake, going through the fast left right hand kinks as he just finishes the second sector, shifts down to fifth. Very, very smooth from this man in the Renault. He's going to shift all the way down to third, abruptly down to second, but shifts straight back up very promptly through the final sectors. Now keeps it in fourth gear. It's a tricky penultimate corner into the last corner, but he's carried a lot of speed. Had to get out the power though. I think he might have turned in a bit early, but he's going to cross the line, and it's P number 10 for the man who is filling in the Renault seat. So very, very impressive from him. We've got more yellow flags in sector 2. We'll try and catch you. That is, I think it's just Cherry 2 Pi moving out the way for people. We've also got Maxi Luca on a lap as I'm about to sneeze. Bless me. Oh, bless me. As Maxi Luca finally gets a lap time on the board, but it's definitely not to his liking. Very far off the pace. So really needing to step up his game if he wants to prove himself after his absence. Right. So if we got out there, we've got Cherry 2 Pi out there who's about to start a lap. We might have to stay on board with him. Pit map's going very, very slowly. We've also got Westy again. Is he going for another lap? I'm not too sure. No, he's not. He's got no ERS deployed. So it will be Cherry. He's got the track all to himself at the moment. He's got free reign of the entire Germany circuit. It will not be returning for the 2020 calendar, I do believe, which is very, very unfortunate. A fan favourite for a lot of drivers, this track. It's very fast flowing, it's very quick, and it's also very, very technical in some areas, including the last sector especially. But yeah, it's what you want, an F1 track that really gets the juices flowing. High speed corners left, right and centre, as Cherry is the only driver I've seen to go to second gear there. Might actually have compromised him as he's wrestling the McLaren through some of these corners. I think he might need to adjust the setup, but he's sticking with it. Cherry, he's not happy with the lap time he's set. I think it was only a banker at the start. He's opted to stay in third gear and get the revs nice and high in the final sector. He's going to shift down to high through the final sector. He looks very, very wobbly and weavy going through the penultimate corners, but here he comes across the line. Cherry 2 Pi P12. It's not actually a bad lap. Everybody seems quite close here at Germany, but Cherry just not finding them extra tenths that are going to boost him up to the top 10 places. We've got Wommer also entering the pit lane, getting ready for the final runs on the medium tyres. This is what I've been waiting for from everybody. The final couple of runs on the medium compounds. Like I said before, if you weren't here, the soft compounds is not what you want to be running around here. They die very, very quickly. We've got Black Phoenix chopping and changing, not really sure what compound to go on. I saw him quickly flick to the softs for a split second and realised his error. Probably communicating with some of the other guys as well, because I know a few of these guys like to mingle in some parties and get some advice from one another. But who's going to be the first to come out of the garage? I think it's going to be Samster in the Mercedes. Yes, it is. Samster is going to be the first man out, so we will stay on board with him. He's not set a valid lap time with that mustard coloured helmet of his at the moment, so he is on the mediums, the first driver out on the set of mediums to set what will be his fastest lap of the race. Whether he just wants to heat them up on the first lap and then go for a lap on the second try, or whether he's just going to go straight for it and try and set the best lap he can, I'm not too sure. But we're going to get a couple of drivers now that are coming out. We've got Skeven, we've got Wommer as well. Just check where Skeven is, yeah, on the straight, and also Wommer exiting the pit lane. So commotion at the German pit lanes now. They know the harder compounds are the way to go around here. Nobody's opting for the softs. I thought maybe you might see one or two, maybe not on the pace, guaranteeing them a top spot maybe, but no, everybody seems pretty fixated on these medium and hard compounds. Will anybody not set a lap time and stay out with their hard lap times? That'll be very, very, very interesting indeed if they can if they will stay out for their hards and then start on the hards as well. But here we go. We'll keep on board with this man, Samster. He's been complaining he hasn't had the luck. He's been complaining he hasn't had the results he deserves. He got a good result last time out in Russia, but got robbed due to penalty. So this is his chance to shine. Whether he's cut the first corner or not, I'm not sure. I think he has already. So that lap time is squandered. So we will go to the second place man who came out, which I believe was Skeven. And Skeven, well, he cut turn 1. Here he comes into turn number 1. Oh, he's ran wide. I think that might be invalid for Skeven as well. Yep, people really struggling out there. Wommer is the only man I believe who's going to continue on his lap. Looks very rusty though in that Mercedes from Saudi Arabia apparently. His flag said, but he definitely isn't. But he's really squandering his ERS early on. He wants to get all that ERS used up down the straight. He's going to flick it down into high just to get the better traction coming out of the hairpin. As we see yellow flags in every sector possible, so everybody's starting their outlaps. This is fantastic for the viewers if you're watching F2 at the moment. And let's see what Wommer can set. He's coming through the middle sector. He is up in his time, but only by 5/10, so it's not the greatest of lap times. Wommer is only 7th, so it won't even put him pole. So Wommer really needs to pull something out of his arse in the final sector here. Is anybody going to get in his way? I think the Alpha won't, but he might catch a bit of that dirty air just trailing the Alpha. But here he comes now, Wommer. He's run monstrously wide out of the final corner. It will be P1, but I don't think he'll be very impressed with that lap time. We're going to see where some people are. Got CC Brain about to start a lap. We've got Luke Green about to start a lap. We've got the Force India of Ollie Flavel on a lap. We've got Skeven on a lap as well. And we've also got, that's a corner cut Westy. There's no way he's got away with that. He's still going though, so it might be valid. Just going to see where people are across the lap, across the track, sorry. I think Ollie Flavel is the furthest man out there, so we will go back on board with Ollie. As he's 3/10 up on his lap. It will put him in the top 2 spots, but he needs to pull something out in the final sector. Here he comes, Ollie Flavel to the line. It's P2 for Ollie, so not good enough. We're going to see TTT Tom start his lap now. CC Brain also starting his lap. Luke Green midway through, trying to get his lap sorted. We've got Leon early on stages as well. We've got Pip Matt just about to start a lap, and Samster does go pole on his 2nd attempt around this circuit. That's more like it with a lap time on the board. We're going to go back up, I think, to Luke Green, who I think is the furthest man around there. It's actually Jack Lacey, then Luke Green, so we're going to try and use this so it's not as flicky and faffy. So here we go, we've got Jack Lacey coming across the line. To the line, Jack Lacey sets. It's 3rd for Jack Lacey, a 1:11.7, and then Luke Green goes 4th with a 1:11.8. So everybody really piling the lap times on now. Luke Green and Jack Lacey in the 2nd row of the grid. We've also got CC Brain who's put it 5th. We've got Josh who's just put it 3rd. I'm struggling to keep track with all these guys. Ollie Flavel's gone off, very disappointing from him. We've got Pip Matt going very slowly. We've also got this man, the Alfa Romeo, as Black Phoenix only puts it P9 on the mediums, so very disappointed from him. Leon goes P7 on the mediums as well, so some drivers really aren't getting these laps hooked up. Has Tom got his lap hooked up? Toxic Tomato, also known as Cameron, goes P2, and Tom snatches the P2 away. But Samster's still on pole. Is there anybody else out there who can challenge? Maybe Skeven. Probably the final man out there who can challenge. I think Ollie Flavel has binned it somewhere, so he will not be in contention. Skeven's run monstrously wide at the final turn, but Skeven comes across the line, and it's P3. He's miles off the track. Wommer across the line, can't improve, P5. And some of these guys really putting in a tight and good performance on the F2 grid, and there you have it. There you have it. Qualifying is over here in Germany. And to be fair, a very thrilling session for some of these guys, which is nice to see. And there you have it, folks. I think that's a 5-second penalty. Oh wow, he's got 2 penalties. He's got a 10-place grid drop for Jack Lacey there in 7th, so he will be starting at the back of the grid, I do believe. I think there's 17 people. Yep, he will be starting at the back of the grid. Poor old Jack Lacey. I think that's the incident with Samster, which was mentioned earlier. As I'm just going to get the stream up just to see how the stream is doing. And hear my sexy voice. How the stream is doing. And hear my sexy voice. How the stream is doing. There you go, can hear the echo for a couple of seconds as well. The stream is doing great. A very tough circuit indeed for these guys. I thought I'd just mention myself there, you know, get my account plugged in just to see what's happening for in the chat. We've got big chungers joining us. I believe in there somewhere. We've got Big C and Skeven also making an appearance. Don't know how you can race and commentate, race and type. Sorry, on the stream. That's very impossible. I couldn't do that. I don't think my internet could handle it either. But anyway, here we go. Here's what we're seeing at the moment. So we've got the front 2 starting on the front row. We've got Samster after a glittering performance out in Russia. He's back at it again with a solid qualifying performance on the medium tyres. We've also got TTG Tom, who's also up there as well. I think he had a decent outing in Russia. I think he hasn't been in the league since the start though, so he's doing a very good job there in the Alpha. Skeven hoping to not bottle the race, hopefully, Skeven, if you're hearing me. So I'm gonna put right. You know what, Skeven? I'm gonna put you under pressure here. I'm gonna make. I think Skeven's gonna win the race. If he doesn't bottle it, Skeven's gonna win the race. So Skeven, don't let me down. So we've got Skeven for first. Who should we say second? I'm going to say Cameron for second because he's normally pretty solid, this Cameron geezer. That toxic tomato geezer with all them numbers at the end. He's pretty solid. So I'm going to go for him for second. And... we'll go TTG Tom for third. Yeah, that will be the predictions. You can quote me in the chat so I don't forget to see what's going on. But we've also got, we're just looking down the field, we've got Black Phoenix starting on the hard compounds. We've got Ollie, who actually I think was outside the top 10, but Jack Lacey got his penalty, so he is starting on the hards in the first stint, which I think is a very, very clever play from them two. The hard tyres are pretty useless around here, but if you can cling within DRS and within slipstream of people, you've really got a good chance of maintaining a good position. But anyway, as Abiodun files in for the final slot, who misses qualifying again for I think the 3rd week in a row, so Abiodun needs to get his act together. But here we go for the start of the German Grand Prix for the final time for the foreseeable future. I don't know if it'll be on the calendar and GL for next season. There is a McLaren miles behind everybody else. I'm not too sure who that is. Just going to go on board. Is it Cherry? It is Cherry, miles behind everybody, so that's not very good. Maybe looking into a bit of a report for that, being a bit silly. But here we go. We've got yellow flags in sector 3, but it doesn't matter because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 red lights here at the German Grand Prix. And away we go. Decent start for the Force India there of Cameron. He's in between the 2 Alphas. He's not going to fit 3 into 1. You can barely fit 2 into 1 in the first couple of corners. And Samson's got a brilliant getaway. Will Skeven make a move going into turn number 3, sorry. Turn number 2 and then 3, then 4. No, he won't, but it's going to be an absolute train going down into the hairpin. There's already yellow flags at the back of the grid. We're just going to have a cycle through just to see what's happening there. But Toxic Tomato looks to be having a move on Skeven, but Skeven's going to come back at him, and TTG Tom also in that mix as well. We've got CC Brain and Luke Green making up all our positions there, shoving Leon out wide. Brilliant start from both the Red Bulls, making up positions consecutively as we see these guys as well. Skeven losing out to Toxic Tomato, and also TTG Tom, who's also losing touch with the likes of Samster at the front of the field. We've also got Ollie Flavel down there as well. Cherry 2 Pie's already had an incident faffing about on the grid, and he's already 10 seconds behind Jack Lacey, so not very good. As we see Maxi Luca is in 10th position, getting past Black Phoenix on the hard tyres. That is crucial for his race. So brilliant start from Maxi Luca. He's already in the top 10 as Maxi Luca picks up a 5-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 position. I think that might be removed. I'm not too sure where he did that illegally, so a bit of a shame for Maxi there, but he's already on 50% ERS, so he's really going for it here. Maxi doing a fantastic job in P number 10. We're just going to cycle through, seeing who's close enough to make a move. Skeven's actually falling off the back of some of these guys up the field. I think this man Josh might have a bit of a sniff. No, he's gonna tame himself for the moment. As CC Brain is pushing Lom around the circuit. CC Brain definitely looking the most hungry out of the 2 Red Bulls at the moment. But Luke Green, he does love his roast dinners, good old Luke Green, so he might start picking at some of the Yorkshires later on in this race. Comfortably sitting in 8th position though, and 7th respectively, the 2 Red Bulls, so a very, very solid start for both of them if they can maintain this pace. Just cycling through the field. On the screen to the left, everybody seems pretty close. I think Pip Matt will be the one to challenge anybody if anybody's going to make an overtake, because these guys ahead of him are on the hards, and Pip Matt knows this, and he really looks eager to get past Ollie Flavel. But Ollie Flavel, very smooth. He's one of the drivers on this grid that really can take the track and make it his own. He's really smooth, especially on this game, and he's really proving himself. Maybe getting a warning for that, because the game is dodgy, especially at turn 1 and that outside turn 1 curb. I think Pit Matt, if he's going to get the traction here, is going to have a good run, as Cherry 2 Pie retires unfortunately from the Grand Prix. Here we go, DRS enabled for everybody on the grid, and Pip Matt looks the closest of anybody. He's definitely going to have a sniff on Ollie Flavel. He's going to go around the outside. We're going to actually change cameras just to see if we get a better view, and Ollie's ran him out wide. Beautiful from Ollie Flavel. Brilliant defending on the hard compound tyres. Fantastic from that man. Is Pit Matt going to have a bite at the cherry again? No, he's not. He's going to do a fantastic job. Louis, make sure you mute me, thank you. As he joins the party. But yeah, Pit Matt doing a fantastic job. Oh, it's yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Who has spun? I think it's Jack Lacey. He's had a bit of a moment there on the mediums, having a miserable afternoon. And Abby Oden there on the hards as well. As we're going to cycle back to the front, I think. TTG, Tom, Samster, Cameron. As Samster sets the fastest lap of the race. This man is not playing around. I didn't even put him in my top 3, as Skevens picked up a penalty on lap number 4. So Skeven really feeling the pressure now. He's trying to keep with these guys ahead, but doesn't seem to have the raw pace to keep with these guys ahead. And guess who's on his arse? This man Josh. He seems to be the dark horse of Formula 2. And he's really proving himself. Nearly loses the rear end, changing direction to try and get past that Alpha. But eventually gets the job done. Skeven, oh, he's broke a lot later than that Williams and nearly clatters into the back of him. Did very well not to sustain any damage. Good old Skeven, but he's falling down the field like a boulder in water, unfortunately for Skeven. He really needs to start picking up the pace on these mediums. He just doesn't seem comfortable on this tyre, and it's not going to get any better for him either, because the hard compound sucks round here. It really sucks. So he's really going to pull his finger out from somewhere. We've got one. This man, he hasn't really been the same since last season. He had a lot of fights and a lot of ambition and a lot of, potential last season, but this season he's made a lot of mistakes and he's not been there. He's missed a few races. He's got school work to contend with. This man's got it all going on inside of that head of his, but doing a solid job at the moment. Very nice turn 1. That's how you do it. Currently 6th. He's got the DRS and slipstream, so he's in a comfortable position at the moment. He's just got to be careful of the German sausage of CC Brain in 7th position there. Look, let's see where CC Brain is. Will he be challenging? No. Luke Green, I don't think, will be making a move on his teammate anytime soon as well, wanting to escape the clutches of Leon, the Baku podium place position winner. Well, he's not a winner. You're a loser for getting no, I'm joking. Now we got a podium, we got a lovely third position, did Leon, I believe it, Baku, so that was fantastic for him. Had a lovely chat with the young man, but unfortunately hasn't been near the podiums ever since. So a bit of a shame for Leon at the moment, as he's trying to keep with the Filey's finest and the German sausage ahead. He's doing a decent job there. I think he's trying to get away from this man, Maxi Luca. He said he's rusty. He said, take 2 seconds off qualifying because I'm not feeling my best. But look what he's doing now. He's looking very competitive. He's in the top 10. He's trying to split away from Black Phoenix, who's really, really keeping with him with the DRS and slipstream. But he's doing a fantastic job out there. Really, really, really ringing that Ferrari of all of its juices. Pit mat actually touches the gravel on the outside of turn number 1 before the entry. So really, really struggling on these mediums as Black Phoenix is all over the gearbox of Maxi Luca. We might have to stay on board with this. No, we're not going to stay on board with this. We're going to stay on board with the leaders because the leaders are fighting. So Samster's clearly made a mistake. Josh is also taking Cameron, also known as Toxic Tomato. And oh my god, so Samster, that lead of 1 point something seconds has been diminished very quickly. So Tom's really turned the wick up. As you can see by his ERS has dwindled from the 80% he had earlier in the race. And he's really pushed to try and catch Samster at the front, and it's paid off beautifully. So well done to Tom, doing a fantastic job there, and has taken P1. But the real question is Samster, oh, I don't know what he's doing, and oh no, that whole game over for Samster. I knew something was going to happen. It just looked dodgy on the entry, and Samster from pole position and a current P2 dwindles to the back of the grid. And oh no, Samster's diminished all of that hard work that he has. Oh, poor old Samster. Silly mistake, turned in way too early, and then just tried to carry the speed that you'd normally be able to on the racing line, but you just can't carry it if you cut the corner. Obviously got grass on his tyres and then just hit the gravel on the exit, and well, game over as soon as you touch the grass or the gravel on the outside. And he's still in P11, so he's got a good chance at some points if he can keep his penalty count low. But at the moment for him, I think it's a game over, unfortunately, as we see Wommer going up the inside of Skeven. I was waiting for Wommer to have a move. I was just trying to see because the camera angle's a bit dodgy going into that corner. It's very low, so you can't really see the velocity at which these cars are coming at and the speed at which they carry through the hairpin. But no, Wommer does a brilliant job as he actually slices the inside of the right-hander. But yeah, doing a fantastic job. The Mercedes driver of Wommer really starting to prove me wrong now. He's a couple of positions away from challenging for a podium, and with the absence of Samster making a mistake in the final sector, TTT Tom has it all to lose now. Will he crack under pressure, or will it be a very, very, very nice victory for him here at Germany, as Maxi Luca picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It's easily done around here. I won't be surprised if we see a lot of drivers in that category of penalties galore. But Wommer's looking very hungry now. I know Cameron's got DRS on Josh ahead, so he might have a bite going into the hairpin, but Wommer's looking very, very tasty. Not in that way, you dirty-minded people. But whoa, as he's actually been hit from the rear of Skeven, a bit of a car park going on down there at the hairpin, so Josh really slowing up the field there in P number 3. Cameron having to get out of the throttle, and oh, there's been an accident down there. It's Ollie Flavel and Westy. Westy's weaving all over the shop, and oh, Ollie had a bit of a swipe at him there. Oh, Ollie Flavel having a bit of a swipe at the Renault driver of Westy, and it's allowed Jack Lacey to get back into the game. That man dwindling down in last position. Well, not anymore, because he's fighting all the way up there with the big boys now. So we're actually going to go on board with, where is his name? There's his name. Good old Black Phoenix. We'll see where Samster is as well. Samster, after losing his momentum and making a silly mistake, looks pretty tasty, as well as Wommer. He's looking to be fighting back. He's already got a penalty though, and you can't keep going wide there, Samster. He's letting the occasion get to him. He's letting his silly mistakes hamper his performance, and it's really showing now. Aggressive gear changes, the racing line non-existent from this man, and he's really struggling at the moment now. He's got to concentrate and calm down. He's had a bit of a mistake, but he can easily pull it back if he keeps his head down. But at the moment, he's really not. As we see, position changes galore. CC Brain going side by side with Skeven going into the hairpin. Skeven leaving him no room on the inside there. And I think CC Brain's getting a bit pissed off, as he might have a bit of a lunge going into this corner. But no, he thinks better of it, because Skeven really is turning this track into a car park, as he is figuring out. Not too sure if anybody has sustained wing damage throughout this ordeal, but there's definitely some drivers who are feeling the benefits of the grip later on than others, and I think Skeven's one of them who is definitely struggling with the grip levels as the race continues. Luke Green also looking very, very feisty back there, but Luke Green is actually going to pit very, very early. So Luke Green, a bold strategy choice from this man. I'm not too sure what tyres he will be going on, but that's very, very bold. Feels he can go a lot faster without the car park ahead of him, so we'll see. It is hard tyres for the Red Bull driver. It will put him last on the leaderboard, but obviously everybody hasn't pitted, so it should be fine for these guys. Is anybody going to have a move down here? I think CC Brain may be the closest. I'm just going to check these guys ahead as well. Nope, nobody making moves yet. As CC, actually ghosted. Very lucky for CC there, because he was going to go right into the back of the Alpha. So very interesting. So this could either be a masterstroke for Luke, or he's really put himself in a detrimental position. I'm not too sure of the pit strategy at this race. I know the mediums can go, I think, to lap 16 if possible. So I'm not too sure if Luke's made a right call there. These guys have got to be going a lot slower for him to make up the ground on the hards. So the hards, like I said before, are a trash tyre. But these guys are fighting constantly. Skeven missing apex after apex, really, really struggling to keep with these guys. But he has got DRS and slipstream, so he will be flying nonetheless, as Wommer looks the closest of anybody, trying to get close to the back of Cameron, currently in P number 3 in the Racing Point, who looks to be really, really going for it as well, as Pip Matt is also in the pit lane, as Jack Lacey picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which is very unfortunate. But we're going to see a change for the podium positions, I think, as Cameron goes on the outside of Josh, and Josh just nicely files into P2. I think Cameron's actually gone a bit wide there, coming out of the exit of the hairpin, but he's maintained the position. I don't think Josh will fight it. Cameron's obviously in none, and we've also got Josh in low of the ERS, so he definitely doesn't want to fight it round this part of the track, which is very, very sensible. I think the hairpin is the most opportunistic, is the most optimal place to pass. Sorry, I think anywhere else is very opportunistic. But we've just got a massive, massive train. We've got fights left, right and centre, but they're not drastically affecting the performance or the outcome of this race at the moment. I think Samsa was the big one, spinning off earlier in this race. He's currently still 10th, cannot get past Black Phoenix, as Maxi Luca and Leon are going side by side, and I think it was because Leon was actually coming into the pit lane. So Leon has been released. Sorry, Maxi Luca has been released, and Maxi Luca now, as CC Brain also pits onto the hard tyres, but Maxi Luca now, he's made his way up to P6, and if he's fast enough, he could get DRS, and he has got DRS, which is crucial for Maxi Luca's race, and he knows it. He's putting it in high, and he's trying to get every last bit of performance out of this Ferrari. He's got to catch this group to maintain the DRS. He's 1.2 seconds behind, but look at the car park that's happening with the front 5. Apart from Tom, who has a 5-second lead, who's pulling away as you would expect. You know, no DRS and no slipstream for anybody around him, and these guys are just tripping over each other at this point. As we're actually going to stay on board with these guys. Jack Lacey and Abby Oden are fighting, as Greeny and Leon are side by side as well. CC Brain does come out ahead of Leon and Greeny, so Greeny really struggling on these hards. He pitted a lot earlier than these guys, and it definitely hasn't paid off, so he's really got some work to do now down there in P16, as we see Josh pushing Cameron around the track, and actually Cameron was coming into the pit lane, that's why he was so slow. But Josh, he might get punished now going into turn 1. Woman's got full ERS, he's been saving it all for this man right here. Josh has had a terrible exit through the final corner and the first corner, and Woma's looking to pounce now. Woma has had enough. He's waited time and time again for his opportunity. He is on full ERS. He's got everything at his disposal. He's got slipstream, DRS, and he's got full ERS. This man has everything he could ever ask for in an F1 car in terms of power, and he's going to make it quite simple, I think, down into the hairpin. Yeah, Skeven actually having to adjust his turning point because it was that slow from these guys. He's actually still in 4th gear and bogs down on the exit, and it's going to allow this man Maxi Luca to make up some more ground on Skeven. He's got to keep his head though. Max is notorious for making a few mistakes at the crucial points, but he's doing a fantastic job at the moment. Skeven really is struggling out there, and Maxi has actually got some genuinely good pace. So if he can keep it together in that Scuderia, he's going to be scoring some masterclass and a handful of points. Oh my god. I keep forgetting how tiring these streams are. As oh no, I did say he's notorious for making mistakes. I think he was coming to the pit lane anyway, so he will get away with it. But Maxi really feeling the effects of worn soft medium tyres as he gets it slowed down very nicely. And as Black Phoenix continues, and look how far away he is from this man Skeven. He's actually got DRS from the guys there, so I don't think he won't. Surely he won't have DRS for this straight as well. He might do, you know. No, he doesn't. That's very unfortunate for Black Phoenix, but he's already in a good position anyway. We're going to see where the likes of CC Brain comes out in terms of Cameron, and CC Brain has actually jumped a lot of people. And look at the car park that's happening here. We've got Wommer, Samster, Greeny all over the place. Oh my god, it's an absolute F-fest going down into the long back straight, and Samster's gonna have to, Wommer's gonna have to take his teammate if he's gonna have any chance of making up positions. But no, he actually backed off and allowed Samster to make a move on Greeny, but Greeny is having none of it. Josh is getting passed by Leon as well, so Greeny is the one causing the blockage at this rate. And look how many laps he's been on them tyres already. 4 laps for Luke Green, and he's dropping positions like a boulder in a river as Luke and Sam still battle it out. Later on in this race, I think Wommer will be fuming under the helmet of his. I think he might have wanted to stop a bit later and then catch back up to these guys, so he had fresh tyres at the end. But the inevitable was about to happen, and Luke Green is getting pushed around the Deutschland circuit. And Luke just does not look comfortable on these tyres. There's a lot of people really pushing themselves as Skeven also comes into the pit lane. And Wommer, he's going to go for it. He actually was going to back out, but Samster's actually let him through, but he's gone horrendously wide. Skeven's also going to come out, and he's going to come out behind Pitmat. So Pitmat has done a masterclass. Pitmat was nowhere near these guys at the start of the race, but he's come out actually in P13. So brilliant from Pitmat, and Skeven has got a lot of work to do now, especially if he wants to be on the podium like I said. As Samster has been dispatched by Wommer, and Wommer is looking to push now as we see position changes galore as CC actually he's going to get past Cameron in the racing point. So fantastic from CC Brain. That is a net podium position for him as we see neck and neck CC Brain and Cameron. Cameron's going to try around the outside. That's very, very brave. CC gives him the room, which is very good of him. But now he's going to have the inside line, but CC's going to hang it around the outside. Has to take the rumble strip off the track. But CC Brain, brilliant driving from the German sausage in P6. And his home Grand Prix as well, so he's really putting on a show for some of these fans. I think this is the battle to watch out for. These guys look very, very feisty. But what's going to play, I think it's played into TTG Thomas's hands. He's come out ahead of the back markers, apart from Black Phoenix, who's having a stellar race up there. In first currently. He will come out behind some of these guys obviously when he does make a pit stop, but he will be on the mediums, which is quite scary to think of as Abby Oden is all over the place. Oh dearie me, Ollie Flavels might be looking to pounce on him after he makes a mistake like that. Ollie Flavel, as I said, has been nowhere for majorities of these races, and he doesn't look like he's anywhere again here at the German circuit. CC Brain's actually going to do the switchback on Cameron. Will Cameron get a better exit though? I'm not too sure. We're going to stay on board with this battle as CC Brain stays in the slipstream. Is he going to make a move going down? No, he's not. He's going to downshift and stay behind Cameron. It's a risky strategy as yellow flags are in sector 2 and Wommer. There's been a car park, and Luke Green as well as Skeven's going to go neck and neck with Pitmat round the outside. That's very brave. Oh, it's all kicking off at the moment as Maxi Luca's also pitted. I'm not sure if he's been involved in that. I hope he hasn't, because he's been having a stellar race so far. as Skeven does one of the best moves of the season around the outside of pit mat, and as Wommer has come together with Greeny. Lucas Greenus will not be very happy with that. Down there in P16, already struggling with the pit strategy that he had. As Toxic Tomato sets the fastest lap of the race on the hards, as Maxi Luca is currently in P14. I don't know if he's been caught up in any of that commotion, but he seems to be alright as Pit Matt picks up a penalty and then Luke Green picks up a penalty. So everybody is feeding the penalty system at the moment. I think Maxi might have a look on the game of Packer, but we're just going to go further up the field just to see this absolute cluster train that's forming up now. It's not actually TTG Westy, it's Abby Oden, as Ollie Favell has to get right out of the throttle because Abby Oden is just holding everybody up. And Abby Oden hasn't even pitted yet, so these guys really in no man's land at the moment. I know these guys have been battling and making mistakes and crashing into each other, but come on, you got to pick up the pace. You know, you're on the same compound. I know they've got fresh hards, but the hards don't really diminish around here as Ollie Favell's nearly sideways through the left-hand hairpin of the final sector. And oh my god, I can barely speak. I've already got a sore throat and it's not helping one bit as Abby Oden's really keeping this close between these guys as TTG Westy finally comes into the pit lane for a pit stop as Ollie Favell is miles off the track and Cameron's saying, let me go. He's going to go down the inside. I think Ollie's going to be a good teammate and let him go, but he can't be compromised by anybody else. As CC Brain, he's actually helped his teammate there, good old Ollie, because CC Brain's had to get out of the throttle and he might come under attack from Leon. And here comes Leon down the back straight. I think Josh might have a bite of this as well. Look at them all. Oh, it's like a Skittles bag. Look at all the colours. It's brilliant racing as Leon's actually got to defend. And CC Brain's miles off the track picks up a penalty for corner cutting. Cameron's got to defend as well. It's not even Cameron, it's Ollie Favell holding up everybody here. CC Brain really struggling now. Ollie Favell holding up everybody. CC's going to go wide. And then Josh is going to come up the inside, round the outside of Leon through there. He can't do a skeven. Leon brilliant at defending. But he really needs to get past these guys if he wants a chance at a podium. Because Ollie Favell is doing a masterclass of holding these guys up. Oh my giddy aunt, this is brilliant racing from these guys. Really close, really demanding, forcing every last juice, every last cog to work out of these cars, and it's brilliant to see as we're going to see Abby Oden get absolutely bummed down this straight. And Cameron is going to pick up a penalty for that. I knew it, I saw it coming. He might actually have a go at Abby Oden before the big straight. No, I think he's going to be more sensible than that and he's going to wait for the long back straight for the DRS zone. Let's see how quickly Cameron's going to dispatch Abby Oden. I think it's going to be very quickly, so we're going to go off board because we know the outcome of that. I think Cameron's going to get it done on the inside. As you can see in the distance, the CC Brain really does need to clear. Ollie Favell now round the outside. If he can get it stopped, that's going to be a brilliant move. He can't get it stopped, and Josh is also on the inside as well. Oh my days, and here comes Samster, the man who spun earlier on in this race, is actually going for it as well. There's so many battles, I can't keep up with it. Maxi Luca and Wommer as well, battling it out down there in positions, and CC Brain's going to go side by side with Ollie Favell. That's very risky from CC Brain. He's going to come under attack from Leon. Oh my god, he's not going to go on the inside there, Leon. He is. He's going to go on the inside, Leon. He's not going to fall CT wide, surely. No, he's not. Josh is going to plunge it. Just plunge it down the inside of everybody. Uses Leon as a braking board to try and get it sorted, and Leon's not happy with that. He's going to continue the fight, and he's not done with Josh yet. Very aggressive from Josh. It was actually a bit of a dirty move from Josh, it has to be said, as somebody pits. I think it's Black Phoenix who pits in the end. I'm not too sure where he's going to come out. He's actually going to come out right behind these guys, and he's just been overtaken by Skeven. But Black Phoenix is on a fresh set of mediums, and this race is turning out to be brilliant. TTG Westy and Ollie at the back of the grid, and look at the grip Black Phoenix has on them mediums. This guy definitely in contention from a podium after a poor performance. Poor performance in qualifying, but look at the guys ahead. We've got Sams to go around the outside of Leon. Oh my god, it's turning into a car park once again as Leon's trying to defend his fifth position from Samster, but also he's trying to get past Josh, and Samster's going to really have a go. Go on round the outside, Samster, you've got no balls, but he has got balls and he's going to try, but Leon defends brilliantly to get past him, to maintain the position as Samster says, you know what, I'm going to go off the track, as Leon's got to cover the inside because he got to run off the track. And more. And in the meantime, oh, Black Phoenix is joining the back of this train, and it's turning into a clown car at the moment, or a clown car. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's brilliant from everybody. I've never seen a race like this in a while. I know Russia was interesting. Baku was one of the best races I've seen. I think France was really good as well, but Germany's really stepping up the mark. F2, been criticised for many seasons as being one of the slowest leagues out there. And sorry, not one of the slowest leagues, it's one of the dirtiest leagues out there, but it's really proving all the haters wrong now. And look at this, Black Phoenix, he's got all the traction in the world, and he's also going to stick it into overtake. He's going to get past Samster, and Samster's not even going to have a go. And then we've got CC Brain, and we've got Josh flying out for the podium positions as well. So everybody's having a go. Leon, is he going to become under attack from Black Phoenix? No. So Black Phoenix making light work of these guys on the fresh set of mediums that he's put on. Later on in this race, he did a brilliant job on the hard compound tyres, and he's really making it work now in the Toro Rosso. I don't think he'll be able to catch TCD Jack, who's doing a fantastic job up front, but we've got my number 2, my man. I did say he's consistent and he does a good job, and he's on the podium, and I think it will be another podium for Cameron as well if he can maintain his penalties and keep it on the road. We've got CC Brain, he's losing touch a bit with the guys ahead, so he's got to be careful. But Black Phoenix, he's doing a brilliant job. I can't believe that the job that he and the shift he put in on the hard tyres. It just goes to show you, if you're on the alternate strategy and you can carve your way through these guys, it really does benefit you later on in the race. Black Phoenix, just look how much extra grip he's got. He can run in 6th gear through most corners and still get better traction and better revs throughout compared to these guys. Leon is going to be hopeless to defend, I don't think, compared to this guy. He might let it go, but he might fight it. I'm not too sure. Leon's really putting Black Phoenix to the test. He nearly actually crashes into CC Brain, but look at the traction. Black Phoenix, an intelligent mind in the body of the Toro Rosso. He's really just done the switch back on Leon. Leon surely isn't going to put it there. Yep, the extra traction and the mindset of Black Phoenix is fantastic. I've never seen such committed driving as Leon has to run wide as Samster did 1 lap ago. And obviously allowing Samster to come back at these guys as well. I think Cameron and Josh will be hoping that these guys, as Avi Odin retires from the race, he's been nowhere all season, that man. Very disappointing, yep, and then leaves the session. Obviously not qualifying as well, so very disappointing from him. But no, as I was saying, I think Cameron will be hoping that somebody can halt the progress of Black Phoenix, because this man just seems unstoppable. We're going to go on board with him again as he enters turn 2 and then turn 3 onto the back straight. And oh, Lordy, it's brilliant to watch. I want to give other people some coverage as well, but Black Phoenix is doing it for me. I'm not too sure if he'll get CC on this lap, but he's not going to compromise his exit, and I think he'll get a good exit. He may challenge CC going into the second sector, into the midway, into the end of the second sector, I should say, on this left-hand king. It's a sharper braking zone than people anticipate. A lot of times I keep it in 3rd gear just to keep the revs low, so I can keep the traction going through there, because it is a very difficult part of the circuit. But Black Phoenix, his progress has been halted a bit so far, but he is the man to watch on the alternate strategy. And unlike the guys further down the pack, he's really made it work. He put in the best shift I've ever seen on the hard compound tyres in the first stint, and look how it's paying off. He takes a lot of curb on the inside, but that extra traction is just benefiting him in so many areas. He can see everybody at the moment really fighting and really trying to keep their cars on the track, but nobody is stopping this man at the moment. And thank you to the 14 viewers still with us for F2, because I know this time of the race a lot of people do like to go and watch F1, but if you'd like to stay with us, it'd be brilliant, because this man is on a mission. Black Phoenix takes no prisoners, and I think if I'm CC Brain, I've got to think strategically. You know, Black Phoenix is, as he cuts the hairpin quite profusely there, I don't think he'll be challenged by CC because of his worn hard tyres. But no, if you're CC Brain, you've got to think strategically. You know Black Phoenix is going to catch these guys, and you know he will try and overtake them. So the best thing you can do is keep with him as close as you can. Farm the DRS, farm the slipstream, and maybe when the opening comes, try and take the guy ahead. Because obviously CC Brain is still a chance with a podium if Black Phoenix can hamper Cameron enough. CC Brain at his home Grand Prix is looking to snatch away a podium from these guys. But in terms of stellar races, I think TTG Thomas is the man to praise at the moment. He started P2, I believe, and he's just made it work since then. Got the job done on Samster, and it really put him under pressure. And Samster just couldn't cope with the dirty air and ended up spinning early on in this race. But we're not on about early on in this race. Cameron has split Josh, so Josh has no DRS and no slipstream, and look at the speed difference as you see Leon as well in the background with CC Brain actually gonna, are they gonna touch as well, go into the hairpin? Yes they are. Leon's actually gonna force him out wide, but look at this, Samster, it's 3 in a bit, it's 3 in a bit, 3 in a bit, and CC Brain has to concede 2 positions in 1, and Samster's gonna go on the inside. Leon has the inside line for this corner. Will Samster go around the outside with that mustard coloured helmet? No, CC Brain has to be careful not to get him on the switchback. But oh my Gideon, it's brilliant. And CC Brain actually has to cover the inside from Skeven. Skeven making a last dash effort later on in this race. And CC going from a podium place maybe to getting absolutely demolished down the straight and later on that lap. CC Brain is falling apart at his home Grand Prix. Nico Hulkenberg-esque for CC Brain. Let's hope he doesn't end up in the barrier and the wall like obviously Nico did. A man also we need to talk about, as Leon picks up a 3-second penalty, which will be crucial, is this man Wommer. He's been nowhere since the scuffle we had with his teammate. He had a brilliant first stint, making up a lot of positions and really maintaining the speed with the other guys, but no, it's not to be, as we're going to see CC, Samster and Leon, I think, battle it out again. Samster's going to go round the outside of the Renault driver. Leon is going to hang it on in there. He's going to try and push Samster wide as he did to CC, but oh, it's ended in disaster. As look at that, they're both coming back on the track sideways. Skeven's going to try on the outside as well. Oh no, it's 3 in a bed, 3 in a bed. Oh, through the wall, Skeven's out of the race. Leon's out of the race. Oh my God, I knew it was ended in tears. I knew it was going to end in tears. 3 into 1 does not fit. And Skeven unfortunately pays the price, and also Leon down there as well, with Samster actually maintaining the position in P6. CC's gone wide. CC's gone wide in the final corner. The action never stops in F2. We're keeping on going, boys. As CC oh God, if I can catch my breath, as CC goes wide for the penultimate hairpin. And oh my God, it's just a matter of time, I think, as well, for Black Phoenix to catch Cameron. He should be on him down this straight, as Samster actually does a very, I think, locks up the front left. I don't know if he's got ABS on or off or what, but just going to go on board with these two. I think Cameron's going to give up the ghost there. Yeah, he knows he's been defeated, but all the commotion at the back has really helped him out. As you can see as well, the gamer Paco out of nowhere as well. He's been nowhere this entire race, and he's just picking up the pieces. You see people like Skeven and Leon tangling, unfortunately, through the fast right-hander, and it just compromises them to the nth degree. And oh my days, the German Grand Prix, even in real life, never disappoints, and it's definitely not disappointing again, as CC still trying to hang on to that 5th position. He's got less competition now, but it doesn't mean it makes the task any easier. CC definitely wants to be the best of the hard runners, which is going to be impossible because Thomas up front has definitely won this race. I don't think a 10-second gap's going to plummet as quickly as Black Phoenix is going. As Black Phoenix actually picks up a time penalty, which I don't think will matter because I think he'll gain more than 3 seconds on Cameron anyway. And we also know Cameron does have penalties. But this is the battle to stay with now. The battle between 5th and 9th. And Maxi Luca, the man who's put in a good shift for his returns, also joining this fight as well. We're going to stay on board with these guys. to see where they can put it. Wommer really having to slow down that Mercedes. He's double upshifted very early. It's actually cost him big time in the traction department. And look at this, the game of Paco is going to be on the back of these guys soon enough. He technically is already on the back of these guys. And look at this, pit mat breaks abruptly, not used to the car park. That is the German Grand Prix, and Samster is now the car park attendant. Giving everybody tickets as they try and get past him, giving everybody fines for parking in the wrong spot. Or he's that yellow bollard that really just can't, you can't get past, or that height restriction that people can't get past. As Tom is actually, Cameron's actually got past Black Phoenix, which is very unusual. So I don't know if Black Phoenix has actually made a mistake on the mediums, maybe suffering with wear a bit with the final laps of this race, as Samster actually picks up a penalty. But regardless of that, I think Black Phoenix is going to get the job done again on the racing point. Yeah, very straightforward. I think Cameron's giving him a run for his money though, going down to the hairpin. As we're just going to go back to see if there's any progression with these guys. As Maxi Luca's now got DRS, but look at this. Westy on the medium compounds is fighting for his life to try and get past Maxi Luca, but his tyres are definitely going to be feeling the degradation. He's pitted way too early for a set of mediums. I think he's going to really struggle at the latter stages of these races. I think he will be on par with traction with these hard runners, because he just hasn't got the grip from the onboard to really challenge these guys. There's Maxi Luca keeping it all together, keeping it nice and composed as he sees the train ahead of him. The game of Paco, he's been nowhere, absolutely nowhere in this race, but he's the number 22 and he's coming right back at this group. Will he be able to challenge? He's got one of the freshest, I think he has the freshest, yeah, he has the freshest hards out of anybody out of this train. Will that be beneficial? I'm not too sure, because it is slipstream train galore. CC, oh, Samster's hit CC round the outside. Samster went, I think, on the inside CC went, then round the outside Samster tried to defend and he's actually hit CC. Will Maxi Luca have a go on CC? He's revving it like mad. Go on Maxi, get it up, 12,000 revs before anything happens there. As Wommer's going to go around the outside of pit mat as well. As you see yellow flags in sector 3. We're just going to stay on board with this battle for the moment, as we're going to see Pit, Matt and Wommer. Wommer's actually going to keep it round the outside. That should compromise him, I don't know. But here we go, as we see Leon retiring from the race. We're going to stay on board with the game of Paco. He's going to do the switchback, and that is clean from the game of Paco. That is pure intelligence, big brain from the Haas driver there in P number 7. Fantastic driving from him. He's looking to pounce. I did say the fresh hards could come as an advantage to him, and he's really reaping the benefits of these guys driving very sloppily as well. And we've also got Maxi Luca on the rear end of the Red Bull. So Maxi really looking fiery in the latter stages of this race. Look at that, gets tremendous exit as he comes through the final 2 corners. Will he nail turn 1? Let's hope he doesn't pick up a penalty. Nobody does pick up a penalty, I don't think, going through that first turn. So fantastic from everybody. And I think Samster, I think Gamer Paco is the man to watch now, because Samster's got no ERS in slipstream. And Wommer's had a really good exit though, so I don't think he will be challenging Wommer. Will anybody challenge? Maxi Luca's had a bit of a bad exit. Westy's going to have a go. Maybe around the outside, Westy, no. We're just going to go on board with Maxi Luca. It's single file, as Pit Matt's had a bit of a horrendous hairpin in the final couple of laps of this race, as Toxic Tomato picks up a time penalty, as Black Phoenix eventually gets past him and gets away from the DRS slipstream train. Also, who's got away from this battle as well is Josh. So can Josh clinch a podium at the final parts of this race? I'm not too sure. It will be a big ask, but let's see what he can do. Here we go now. The final 3 laps of this Grand Prix. It's been one of the longest Grand Prix that I've commentated on in terms of having to talk for so long, but it's been one of the most thrilling Grand Prix that I have ever been a part of. It's been fantastic to be involved in such a spectacle, which is the F2 Germany round 6. As the yellow flags in sector 1 and 2, I'm not too sure what's happened there. Oh, is it Cameron? Oh, it's Cameron! It's Toxic Tomato from a podium position. I don't know how he's lost it there on the DRS straight. Has binned it Mr. Reliable, Mr. Podium has lost out in the final couple of laps, and we've also got Westy going on the inside of Maxi Luca once again, but he just hasn't got the traction to compete. It's all up in the air. Josh might even sneak a podium now. Samster might even sneak a podium after the horrendous spin he had earlier. So Samster's had an absolute masterclass. It's not even Samster. Wommer has got ahead of Samster, so Wommer might be on the podium. It's all up in the air here, boys. Is he close enough to Josh to try and mount a charge? I don't think he is. He's got no ERS to compensate for the time. I think Josh has quite a bit. Josh is struggling as well for ERS. But oh my god, boys and girls, the game of Paco might be on the podium at the end, because I haven't seen him get a penalty yet, and these guys I know for sure have penalties. It's an absolute thriller here at Germany for the final laps of this race. We've seen thrills and we've seen spills, and by spills I mean spills. There's been loads and loads of drama and action happening as Toxic Tomato bites the dust from a podium position, Samster bites the dust from a podium position, Leon and Skeven get taken out of the race, going 3 abreast in the middle sector, and we've also got CC Brain coming together with the likes of Samster as well earlier on in this race, and Pit Matt really struggling in that hairpin. He just can't seem to get it together, but he gets a decent exit to fend off the Red Bull. But that's not the man we want to be watching as we see Yellow Flags in Sector 1 again. But we're going to continue with this battle. The lovely helicopter cam is going to spectate us around the final couple of corners, and then it will be the final lap of the race. Here we go. Anybody making any inroads? We're on board with the game of Paco. I think he's going to make a last lap lunge. He's got to make a last lap lunge. He knows these guys have penalties. He knows that he could be on the podium if he can get past these guys. Wommer is dropped out of the 3-second window to Josh, who has just started his final lap. We're going to go back as well. I think Pitma actually might reap the benefits of having DRS from the guys ahead as well. We're going to stay on board with the game of Paco as we've got 16 viewers to the end, so thank you to everybody as Westy picks up a 3-second time penalty. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, it's the last lap of the German Grand Prix. Game of Paco has a bit of a poor exit, and Wommer is looking to defend from his teammate. I don't think Samster's got anything left in the tank. Wommer definitely has nothing in the tank. He's got no ERS whatsoever. And Samster, I don't think he's going to challenge. Is anybody down here going to challenge? Of course CC Brain's going to challenge. Round the outside of the hairpin. Can he make it stick? No, he's on the rumble strip. It's actually going to compromise him with Maxi Luca. But Maxi Luca hasn't looked like he's wanted to pass CC Brain the entire time. And CC Brain really, really struggling now as we're going to go on back on board with the game of Paco for the final sector for the final time. As we will go on board with the leader in just a second. I think we're going to have to go on board with him now. He's going to come across the line. TTT Thomas takes a victory here in Germany with second place, doing the alternate strategy. The Toro Rosso of Black Phoenix crosses the line in P number 2. Josh will cross the line in third. Will he stay there? We don't know. Wommer has done a fantastic final lap to keep that gap below 6 seconds. 3 seconds. Will Wommer take it away? No, he won't. But Samster's falling as Game of Paco picks up 5th. Maxi Luca, CZ Brain and Pitmat also go up in positions, and Samster barely hangs on to the final point as Ollie Flavel will actually pick up the final point here at Germany. And we've also got Westy, who came in P11, and we've also got Cameron. Poor old Cameron. He might take fastest lap. I think he will take fastest lap as he crosses the line. Yep, so nobody getting fastest lap this Grand Prix. And Luke Green, I think he's going to have a go at fastest lap as well, so we'll stay on board with that man there just to see what he can do. And oh my days, so out of all my predictions, I don't think any of them made the top 3. I can't believe it. And that just goes to show you Formula F2 is fantastic, as Luke Green, the admin of Formula 2, has had enough in P13. But oh my days. Whew. I should get paid for this. Losing my voice was definitely worth it as we see that man on the top step of the podium. It's TTG Thomas, the number 5, taking victory. Well, actually the number 19 I believe on his car, but the number 5 at the end of his name, taking victory here at Germany. And we've also got Black Phoenix, a fantastic performance for him, and also Josh fending off the scavengers that with the rest of the field to maintain third position. So brilliant, 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 brilliant racing from these guys. Josh, the only person without a penalty. So congratulations to Josh, a very clean race 4. But driver of the day, it has to go to Black Phoenix. Black Phoenix was really, really on par. A shout out as well goes to the gamer Paco. He was brilliant as well, from 14th to 5th. But Black Phoenix, the alternate strategy outside the top 10, 11th to P2. Brilliant, brilliant from these guys. So we will get some podium interviews hopefully, so you've got to bear with me. Just gonna bear with me, guys. I will set up a new party just to sending everybody an invite in the session just to make sure that they will be available for podium interviews. Crazy afternoon. See if anybody would like to join for the podium interviews. I'll give it a couple of minutes just to give people the chance to get into the lobby. Oh man, that was a thrilling race, everybody, and it's a privilege to actually be involved. Such a fantastic race. It's always a bit of a faff trying to get everybody in the lobby for a bit of a speech at the end, but we'll see what we can do. So we've got 2 of the 3 with us today, so I think we will start off with the first place man. So Thomas, what do you prefer to be called? I don't
mind, whatever you want.
He doesn't mind, and I don't think he would mind, because that was a brilliant race for yourself. Congratulations on first place. You must be pretty chuffed with that.
Oh yes.
Just tell us, tell the viewers at home how you're feeling first of all.
I'm honestly amazing. Second win in a row. So now the goal is to really mount that charge. I mean the title. So, but it's just honestly it felt so amazing to drive every single lap. There were a few mistakes here and there because I didn't want to push as hard as I possibly can because I thought I was going to overdrive. So I was a little bit cautious in some of the laps, but I was still giving it pretty much over 90% of the time in every lap. So.
Yeah, like you say, you were giving it absolutely everything. I think it was an 8-point-something gap by the end of the race, which is no slouch, especially when you've got Black Phoenix on the softer compound behind you. But I think the turning point for you and also for everybody else was Samster's incident. You know, you got past him, you really put him under some pressure, and he just seemed very flustered when you got past him. You know, he gained a 1.3 second gap, I think it was, in the first couple of laps. But then you just found him this blistering pace and then came back at him. And just give us your thoughts on if Samster was there, do you think it would have been a bit more difficult for you, or?
Right, so he got away on the start. I was fearing that he was just going to use everything he can just to get away from us. Surprisingly, actually wasn't that quick. As soon as I saw 1.3, I just wanted to close right back up to him as soon as I can, which I did pretty fast. Yeah, as soon as I got DRS, I'm pretty sure he was running lean and no DRS on the straight, passed him pretty easily. But then once we got to the end of sector 2, I think he got dirty air, dirty end. That's why he spun. Yeah, I mean, it's completely down to him. I didn't touch him or anything, so yeah, it's completely down to his driving, not mine.
Yeah, of course, like you say, it was an unfortunate error from him. We will come back to you at the end. We've just got to get to our second place man, who just seems to be on the podium in most races. You know, Black Phoenix, that's a performance, that is. On the alternate strategy, you really did make it work. Just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, my heart was pumping when I overtook some people because, you know, I have to really lunge it. But I mean, normally I don't start on my hard tyres, but you won't believe what happened in quali. My DRS didn't open, so you know, that's very nice. But so I just decided to start my hard tyres, and it just worked out. So, and I was able to come out ahead of, I think, Maxi Luca, am I? Out of the pits?
Yeah, but I believe it was Maxi.
Yeah, so I jumped a couple people there, so yeah, that was just a good race.
Yeah, like you say, you know, you really did push, and I think what made or broke your race, or what would have, is when you were on your own. You know, you really did put the lap times in when you're on the road on the hards, and a lot of these people, you know, I called it a car park many times throughout the race, where people just stopping at the hairpin and just losing seconds after seconds, and I thought, you know, if Black Phoenix keeps going at this pace, he's really going to have a good chance of a podium. And like you said, you came up behind very close to everybody on the fresher set of mediums, and you just took off from there. Just give us your thoughts on, you know, overtaking so many cars in such a short space of time. You know, you were picking people off, you know, 2 cars per lap nearly. It was quite you know, amazing to watch. Just how did you do that? How did you combat, you know, you did have the fresher tyres, but how did you combat so many people in such a short space of track?
Well, before this race started, I thought I'm just gonna go all out this race. So I know if I was gonna get in the podium position, I just had to go for literally every move. When I came out of the pits, I was a bit slow and Steven got me, but thankfully I got him back. And then except for, I would say the hardest one to overtake was Leon, because he was like, I got to hold this guy back, but the others just kind of let me go. So it was actually scary but entertaining at the same time to overtake him.
Yeah, it was a fantastic performance from yourself. We are going to go back to the race winner, good old Tom. Last thing I will say before we end the stream off is what's the predictions for the future? Obviously you said you want to go for the title, but is there any race game plans that you've got for the upcoming races, or are you just going to take it race by race?
Just remind me, what's the next track? Is it Monaco?
Yes, it is.
Right, so Monaco along with Canada are honestly my weakest tracks in the entire game. So Monaco, I'm just gonna get the points I can get, and I'm not expecting, you know, victory like I did in these last 2 races. I'm not expecting that at all. I'm just gonna try and get the points I can and focus on my more stronger tracks. On my weaker ones, I'm just gonna try and get the points where I can. Just gotta remain consistent in the points here, and that's the aim of the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, there you have it, everyone. Yeah, your front 2 finishers have joined us today. I did invite Josh, unfortunately he didn't come in. I think there's sometimes a glitch when I invite people and they don't receive it, but just a shout out to him. He was the only person, I believe, who got no penalties throughout that race, so very well done for Josh for 3rd and no penalties. And I'll be here next week for, I believe, Monaco at 7 PM, so that should be fun. But yeah, 7 PM Lordy-MK right here, F2 round 7, so be there and enjoy it, because this race was a banger. Right, take care.